bus and no one in my family is able to then find the Bitcoin. So the challenge is that there are solutions that you could potentially use to solve that problem that could in the future give the government a backdoor into actually figuring out where all of your assets are stored. And this is a philosophical issue that I think people are trying to fix right now.
No, it is. It is. Pamela Morgan of Third Key Solutions has been working on that problem for a long time now. And I don't know, like to me, like I can't think of a good solution here, because if I come up with a way for my family to recover my Bitcoin, that means the government might have a way to come up with a way to recover my Bitcoin.
It's true.
So this is Pam's new book. I need to tell her she needs.
Oh, she has a book.
Yeah, for the advertising. So this is Pam's new book.
Oh, I want one.
Called Crypto Asset Inheritance Planning, and it's really, really, really useful, and like talks about some of these issues, like wills and so on.
All right,
and
very cool.
She's starting a series of law courses that are CLE approved. I think she's going to be going around to quite a few locations, giving presentations on how to actually do the best kind of estate planning. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, hey, she's another lawyer. We can get her for the show. It's amazing. I know an unreasonable amount of lawyers. It's really fascinating.
Well, at least, Tony, if anything happens to you, that a bunch of people will like jump and take
We'll
care
see.
of
We'll see about that.
That's why you're freaking doing it. I got it.
You know it's gonna happen sooner or later. Hey, it's like I heard. Who did I hear this from? Might have been like Cody Wilson. If you guys know who Cody Wilson is, that's the guy that invented the 3D printer gun. And he's now.
Oh, I watched the video. I saw a video about that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like permanently banned from buying a 3D printer. As funny as that sounds. But hey, I think was it he who said it or somebody said it, like, hey, if you're gonna be on a list, you might as well be near the top of the list, because then everybody knows who you are, and you have a community behind you. But
so everyone donate money to Tone. The link is in the info, so he can pay our retainer eventually.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, hey, here's one more thing. Okay, so retainer, right?
Yeah.
So what do you guys think as lawyers to kind of lock up X amount of Bitcoin for a friend with some kind of a multi-sig that automatically goes to my defense fund if I get arrested? Or can the government seize claim on that?
That's like
it's not a pre-retainer. It's still like it's a multi-sig that in a contract that only activates as a retainer the moment I get arrested.
So you can't see funds for a defense fund.
Awesome thing that you've actually said all week today.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense.
I have been thinking about this for a while.
We wouldn't even have to tell anyone about it because of attorney-client privilege.
Right.
Well, so here's something that's interesting that we've sort of looked into on our end is if I donate money to a multi-sig wallet, if I donate money through a multi-sig wallet will automatically distribute at the occurrence of some future event, but I'm donating it at, let's say a 5 Bitcoin at $7,000. And then by the time it actually gets distributed, it's worth, $10,000 or $100,000 or whatever. There's an interesting question regarding the tax, the tax base that you're actually donating from. And there's some very tricky and interesting tax planning that you can do through smart contracts when you set up a nonprofit. And you can set up a nonprofit that is specifically a defense fund, and those assets are protected against forfeiture, because it's really me donating to you to use for a specific purpose, and it's not your asset initially.
Hey, any lawyer part of the show that wants to start a company like that, I think this would be very useful for a lot of Bitcoiners, especially local Bitcoin dealers like Teresa, that can like slowly fund, a potential defense fund with the money, because they know they're operating in a gray area, and it's something that is tax deferred through something like this, through some kind of a scheme. I know I would be funding one right now.
I don't know why you're not funding one at all right now, to be honest with you.
maybe I secretly am, and it's a separate cold story.
For a friend.
Yes. No, but okay. So do we have time for one more story? Oh, we do. Yes, because it's a Caribbean story. So Adela, this is in your wheelhouse. So let's talk about Roger Vere's home country of St. Kitts.
There's Island.
Yes, the home country of St. Kitts, realizing there is a Bitcoin ATM in their country, and they don't seem to be very happy about it.
Think of the children.
Say again?
I said, think of the children. There's a
Yes.
Bitcoin ATM in the country.
Yes. And it looks like the Caribbean, because they're all a bunch of tiny islands, and they have like some kind of joint laws when it comes to consumer protections and stuff like that. And Caribbean, that's also Adela, that's your domain and your area. So give it to us. What's going on over there?
Yeah, so the ECCB, which is actually like located on St. Kitts. So the federation is called St. Kitts and Nevis, and it's actually two very tiny islands that are very close to each other, and you have to take like a ferry or plane to get from one to the other. But it's sort of like one sort of like regulatory like scheme mostly. Okay, so the ECCB, who's kind of like who's tasked with being our currency board as well for conversion, right? In the Eastern Caribbean. I know I put that in quotes, not supposed to be in quotes, for the Eastern Caribbean, has put out this warning, saying that, look, we understand that there is a Bitcoin ATM, and just be very careful because this thing is not regulated. I mean, as far as nasty go, it's not a nasty message, right? It's just saying like, look, guys, there's no recourse if something goes wrong. It's not a normal, when I say normal, it's not your sort of usual ATM. We don't have anything to do with this. So like, I think it's actually kind of smart in a sense that they're kind of saying like, this doesn't belong to us. It's not under our purview. We have nothing to do with this. Use at your own risk. I also think it's a little sad as well that, we have to have all these sort of hand-holding around personal responsibility. Because generally, if an adult is using a BTM, an adult is using a BTM, especially in a jurisdiction where they have not dealt with cryptocurrencies very much at all, except, just to have Roger's team like there full time, which I have to say, really nice guys. I don't want to annoy you, Tone, but I really had a great time with them last year. No,
I mean, there's lots of like nice people. People still give me a hard time for having dinner with fake Satoshi when I was in London. It was like, I told people, it's really, really funny. I mean, yeah, we obviously, he's not Satoshi. Everybody knows that, including himself. And he's a Bcash maximalist, the way I am a Bitcoin maximalist. But we had a hell of a time talking about how Ethereum is an unlicensed, unregistered security. Like, we had plenty of things in common talking about shitcoins. We just disagreed on what Bitcoin was.
Right. But I mean, what do you guys think about this BTM? I mean, I obviously, the people running this stuff wouldn't have to go.
All right, let me just comment real quick here, right? So I agree with you, right? Like, the government shouldn't have to, do a bunch of hand holding. I know that my chat box is about to just go nuts because I seem to be on the side of the government here. But here's the thing, right? Like, I agree that the government shouldn't be hand holding. However, I want this ATM company to be regulated. And I don't want it to be regulated by the crypto space because the crypto space is generally incompetent.
How would you, wait. Okay, so you're making a suggestion, which actually really kind of annoys me sometimes when people do stuff like that, when they say, okay, this thing could be better, but they don't really say how it could be better. Who do you think should regulate this? Do you think it should be by a private entity? Do you think it should be by like a governmental entity? Like, who should regulate this?
Well, I mean, who regulates the current ATM network to make sure that the machines are legitimate, right? Is it a government entity or is it a private entity?
Of course.
Well, which one?
It's a government entity. I'm not sure what it is in St. Kitts, but it's definitely there.
Okay, then I don't see why it shouldn't be any different, right? I mean, I want some kind of regulation to make sure this is a legitimate ATM machine. Now, here's the other question: is it a Bitcoin ATM machine? Or is it a Bcash ATM machine pretending to be a Bitcoin ATM machine, right? And who's regulating that?
Actually, I'm actually gonna go and check this out. I have to see about a man about a horse in St. Kitts very soon, maybe in the next month or so. I'm actually gonna probably do the show live from St. Kitts.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. And I'm going to take pictures if I can't, do it live by this machine, because I want to actually use it online and see how it works, or if it works. If it doesn't work, that would be awesome as well, because like it would just be really